out of school right now. I've been staying home with my kids for a few years, so I'm getting ready to get back into it. But I've been doing tutoring. And maybe a lot of you do this, but the students I tutor have never seen this. And it makes me crazy because I've always done it. So I just thought I'd share it. When we do VSEPR, molecular shapes, they start out with a piece of clay or Play-Doh. Clay makes a bigger mess, so make sure they have paper to roll it around on. And they just make a ball, and I give them toothpicks. And I say, okay, so bonds are made of electrons, and electrons are negative. And what do we know about things that are negative? They want to be as far apart from one another as they can possibly be. So if this is an atom, and it's got two bonds, two pairs of electrons, where will they go? And everybody does this at their own seats, and we give them a minute to figure it out, and of course they come up with that they need to be on opposite sides. And we take notes, and we write 180 degrees, and we call it linear and all that. And then we say, okay, now what if there are three? And so some of them just, add the third in, and I say, is that as far apart as they can be? But they fiddle around with it for a few minutes until they come up with what I then tell them is called trigonal planar. And we would talk about angles and all that. And then when we get to 4, you know what they do. And I say, okay, that's great, but I bet they could be further apart. And I don't tell them how, and I don't tell them why. I just tell them to think outside the sheet of paper. And after a while, they do. And some of them, and it's usually boys for some reason, and they pretend it's like a lunar lander. And they're like, but they come up with the tetrahedron. And that, because they did it, and I didn't hand them atom molecules or atom models that have holes in them, they figured out how they have to go far apart. They remember it better. And it sticks with them, and it's just better than just notes, I think. And so when I'm tutoring kids, and I don't have this along with me, and I'm like, crumpling up balls of paper and sticking pencils in it, there's a lot of things you can do, but it's easiest if everybody in the room has a piece of Play-Doh and a handful of toothpicks. So that's how we do mine.
Cheese balls.
Cheese balls.
We do. I do cheese balls. You just go to Target, get a big toe of cheese balls, and then they eat them.
I would
It's
eat
like a ball. And the little incentive is after you finish the list, you can eat your cheese balls.
I had a demo for you today, but it's gone.
And